Hello. In this video, we will take a look at how do we use the logical operators. The logical operators in PowerShell are AND, OR, and NOT. So let's first understand how do we use the AND logical operator. The AND operator actually helps you to evaluate the conditions. If both the conditions are true, then you would like to take your next steps or perform your operations. That is where the AND comes into play. Both the conditions has to be true to evaluate the overall condition to be true. So let's clear screen and let's start writing the PowerShell. Let's just declare one variable called number1, assign a value as 10, and let's have number2, and then let's also have an average. Let's just call it as 100. Now what we will do, we will compare these two numbers first. So let's go ahead and compare number 1 equals number 2, and then this is how we write the logical AND operator. As you can see, -AND, or in the small caps. I prefer to write it as capital letters. And then you also would like to compare the average is greater than 200. I purposefully have given it as a false condition. So let's open a bracket. Let's write host that AND condition is true. Now if this is going to be true, then this is going to be executed. Else, let us just say that the AND condition is false. All right, let's just put a tab for the more better readability. Let's just align the code that we've written. All right, so now let's understand. So we have number 1 as 10, number 2 as 20, and average is 100. So let's try and see if the number 1 is equal to number 2. No. And average is greater than 200. No. So certainly this is not a true condition, both of it. So obviously it's going to go into the else part. So let's go ahead and execute this, and as we see, AND condition is false. Let's try and keep both these numbers same. Let's change this to 10. So now number 1 equals to number 2. Yes, it is. And average is greater than 200. So no, this is not the case, right? So first condition is true. However, the second condition is not true. So in order for this to succeed, both this condition must be true, and that's why it is AND. So now the result will still get into the else. As you can see, AND condition is false. Now let's just change the number 100 to 300, and now in this case both the conditions are met. Both the numbers are equal. Yes, it is, they are. And then average is also greater than 200. So in this case, when you execute, the AND condition is true and then gets into the true condition, right? So I hope this simple example helped you to understand the AND logical operator. Now let's understand the OR logical operator. Now that is like you just put in OR here, and what that means is one of the conditions can be true, and if the one of the condition is true, the overall statement becomes true, right? And then whatever you have mentioned as a part of that if statement can get executed. So in this case, let's just change it back to 100. Now in this case, the second condition, which is average greater than 200, is false, but number 1 is equals to number 2 is true. So in this case, if you execute this, it is again executing to true, because one of these condition is true, then the overall statement is true, right? Let's see if both of them are false, right? Then certainly it gets into the else condition, because none of the conditions is true. So let us just change this. So now number 1 equals to number 2. No. Or average is greater than 200. No. So in this case, both of these conditions are false, and that's the reason it has gone into the else part. I hope this simple example helped you to understand the OR logical operator. Now let's understand how do we use the NOT logical operator. So the NOT logical operator just reverses the state of the condition that you are evaluating, right? So for an example, the AND condition is true. Now let's just say that just for the simplicity, let me just remove this. And let's just go with the number 1 equals to number 2 condition just to make you understand. So we have this number 1 and number 2. So number 1 equals to number 2. Let's just execute this to be on same page, and the AND condition is false, which is right. Now if you change this to, let us say, not, and then let us just open up and close a bracket, and as you will see now AND condition is true. Now that actually means the condition is false, but then we have reversed the condition, right? So which is not actually true, but to help you understand, if you put something not in front of the condition, so if that's kind of satisfying, it will reverse it, and then you can execute your logic, right? So it's more like comparing if it's not true, then what you want to do, right? So I hope the simple example also helped you to understand the not logical operator. Right? I thank you for watching the video.